It's finally over. The most dead year in Pokemon since... Actually, this is the most dead it's ever been, has come to a close, and we can now say that next year is gonna be better, I guess. Look, let's be honest, we've had more riveting Pokemon days in the past. There's that time we saw a slideshow of Legends Arceus, that time they bastardized my country, and even last year when they revealed Legends ZA and gave me an excuse to do nothing but farm Fakemon for another 2 years. Regardless, a new trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA has been released, and we now know more about the game. They weren't kidding when they said this entire game was going to take place within the city. We got some new characters with some adorable haircuts, and AZ is back, and he's running a hotel? I'm so excited to learn more about this game over the coming year. I can't wait to see what's happened to characters like Lysandra, Sycamore, the annoying trio of NPCs that follow you and call you weird names, Diantha, the newly crowned second worst champion of all time, and of course, this guy. The most important part of this whole trailer, for me at least, wasn't the reveal of the art style or time period or even those neat new battle mechanics. Obviously, it's the starter Pokemon. Everyone and their mums had money on at least Piplup or Snivy, since their evolution lines are based off of French aristocracy, so naturally Pokemon decided to give us the pig no one likes and not one but 2 Johto starters. The reason this is such an important decision is the implication that, like in this game's predecessor Pokemon Legends Arceus, that these Pokemon will be given new francophone regional evolutions, and I can't wait to do what I do best. And I'm going to Japan the day after I'm writing this, and I need to get a quick video about Pokemon Day out, so go hit subscribe and like the video since I'm sure I broke some speed running records while making it. Now, go grab a cup of tea and let me show you what I've made this time. Ooh, that's hot. First of the starters I'm going to be showing you today is the one that I'm sure most of you are planning to be choosing as your first partner Pokemon in Lumiose City, the Big Jaw Pokemon Feraligatr. Despite having perhaps the most atrociously spelled name in the entire Pokemon franchise, this cool crocodilian is one of the most popular starters of all time. Totodile is super cute and is the founder of the Fuecoco school of Bite First, Ask Questions Later. When it comes to making a new regional variant of Feraligatr, I initially struggled to think of anything that really fit. France isn't really known for its connection to crocodiles, as they aren't exactly native to the region. However, as luck would have it, there was a notable incident that gave me some inspiration. In 1984, somewhere near the Seine River in the city of Paris, a group of sewer workers were surprised to find an Egyptian Nile crocodile under the streets in the sewers. She was only young, only 80 centimeters in length, but the find stunned locals and she was eventually sent to live in Van Aquarium, where she only recently passed away at the age of 38. Her name was Eleanor, and she is what I'll be basing my Colossian Feraligatr on. For this chill dude, I decided to give him a secondary typing, unlike the original, which is pure water. Since my regional Feraligatr comes from the sewer, it made sense to go with the suitably noxious poison type. This guy hangs out under the city with his teenage mutant ninja pals and spends time slipping and sliding around on waves of poison, surfing through the tunnels joyfully. This Pokemon knows how to make the best of its subterranean environment and has a laid-back personality. Above ground, it maintains its good vibes, but, like its Johtonian counterpart, is known to go for a cheeky bite when you get too close. This Pokemon is able to secrete sludge from glands on the inside of its jaw, as well as its tail, which it uses to inflict poison damage in its bites, or it coats the ground around it to help it slide around with ease. It uses its increased speed to chase down foes and coat them with its toxic sludge, using its signature move, Sludge Surf, which has a chance of lowering its enemy's speed, as well as further hindering its foes with its new hidden ability, Merciless. Colossian Feraligatr is an unusual Pokemon whose chipper attitude never fails to light up its environment, no matter how dark and gloomy it may be. It doesn't help much to fix the bite marks though. The second of the new trio is the incredibly underwhelming but still very beloved grass-type starter, also from the Johto region. It's Chikorita. This Pokemon has been a certified cutie patootie since it first appeared back in the 90s. This amazing design is burdened by the worst stats ever seen in a starter Pokemon. but I think that means it deserves the comeback of the century. And what better way to do that than with a regional variant, and hopefully a Mega Evolution. Mega Meganium, here we come. For my new form of Meganium, it wasn't hard to think of inspiration. The original Johto design is incredibly simple, featuring a green sauropod body with insectoid antenna and a neck ruff made of a flower, likely based off of the geranium that also inspired its name. Since regional variants don't change much, I kept the sauropoded aspects the same, but I altered the flower species to one slightly more rooted in French culture. When you think of France, a few symbols come to mind. The flag, the chicken, but most importantly in this context, the fleur-de-lis. This is a stylized design found on traditional heraldry, based off of the French national flower, the iris. Although yellow in this context, they are often a rich royal purple, which I found lent itself well to the aristocratic sauce I wanted to add to my Colossian Meganium. This Pokemon gains a new air of snootiness, which it shares with its fellow French-based grass-type bestie, Serperior. The neck ruff accentuates Meganium's height and swept-back coiffed antenna, forming a cravat-like shape on its chest. The colors are shifted to a cooler color palette, and Meganium is given a new secondary typing to work with, the Fairy type. Alongside new moves in its pool and an adjusted stat spread, this Pokemon now gains a new signature move in the form of Fleur Burst, a move that is said to have inspired Magina's signature Fleur Cannon. This move inflicts a high burst of grass-type damage across the field, but in return, lowers Meganium's special attack. As a new hidden ability, this Pokemon now carries Regenerator, allowing it some staying power and the opportunity to use its signature move more than once. Colossian Meganium is the city mouse to its country Jotonian brethren and enjoys its regal position as the powerhouse it always deserved to be. Finally, the last member of the new trio is the logical continuation of the previous two, everyone's favorite nosy fire starter, Tepig! You were expecting someone else? I have a soft spot for this little guy, since I like to nickname them Ganondorf, which is basically the same name as my cat. This geezer is an absolute unit. Although, again, like Meganium, it is by far the least popular starter choice in its generation. Notable for being the third sequential secondary fighting type fire starter. Like the origin of Colossian Feraligatr, this form is also based off of an event that happened in the past, although it's a little more on the medieval side this time. This evolution's origins are a specific incident in which a French judge found a pig guilty of murder and sentenced it to death. This is far from the only occurrence of an animal in France being tried and found guilty, but it is the earliest, taking place in 1266. This pig was also notable for being burnt at the stake, which is strange because pigs are usually only roasted posthumously. This French pig fire connection was just too fun an option, and so I created Colossian Embor. This poltergeist pig is the returning form of a Pokemon that was tried for wicked crimes, found guilty, and still bears the pyre's flames on its legs, its head and neck smoldering with black smoke. As is tradition, this Pokemon is a fire ghost type, making it the third fire ghost starter in a row. Colossian Embor is a mighty physical attacker, using its charred legs to savagely beat its opponents. In its signature move, Wicked Embers, it gathers the burning coals from its coat and scatters them at opponents, covering the ground with a layer of cinders that burn enemies that touch the ground. It uses its ability, Justified, to gain power when hit by Dark-type moves so that it can tank with its high defenses. Colossian Embor is a vengeful spirit. It knows that it has done wicked things, and that it has been punished for them, but it would do every foul deed again if given the chance, and woe be on anyone that tries to stop them. So that was Pokemon Day. I plan to make more videos for Mega Evolutions for these guys, but if you want to see me Mega Evolve the original Kalos trio, you can go here. If you want to support me, you can buy my merch, also here, or even join my Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you can make me sing your username at the end of every major video I make, just like this. You helped me be the best I ever was to pay my rent. Yeah, that's my cause. J Matagamadi SDH, Zachary Green, DJ Colio 3, Brian McBee, Immortal Absol, Heavy Metal Mew, Brent Kearney. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all, gotta thank 'em all. Lucas Gates, Nick, Charles, EX Happy Face, Lord Fellington, PSA, Pimp, Orgo169, Menko the Team, Maker, Rachel Lynn, Brandon Likes.
That's all I got for this one. If you want in, join the Patreon.